Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to give my full series review of Waiting for Spring. This is the 14-volume series put out by Kodansha, and it's by Anashin. I've been collecting this one, I think, since volume 2, and all of the others I've been pre-ordering the whole time, so it's been a long time coming to get this entire series. Volume 14, as of recording this, just arrived to me yesterday, and I read it yesterday, and it was an extras volume, so basically the series is 13 volumes plus the 14th volume full of extra side stories that some of them take place after the series, and then it also compiles a lot of the mini, two-page kind of gag extra short stories that that were published in the magazine in Japan that this was originally published in, that we didn't get in English. So that was nice that they included those in the bonus 14th volume, because otherwise we wouldn't have seen those. So a lot of those stories, it tells you what volumes they take place between. So, you know, like the first extra bonus one is it says between volumes 1 and 2. So if you reread the series, it would be fun to, break in between volume 1 and go read the extra story that takes place in between those two volumes, and so on and so forth. So I may do that when I reread the series. Other than that, Waiting for Spring is one that I've seen quite a few people talk about over the past couple of years as it's been releasing, because the art is fantastic, the characters are wonderful, and it's a little bit of it's a shoujo, and it's got the shoujo tropes, but it is a little bit different in that it does focus very heavily on basketball, because our main character, Mitsuki, over here, she befriends the 4 popular boys on her school's basketball team. They are her age. Actually, I think 1 or 2 of them might be a year older. I think that they're kind of a year apart. I think there's 2 that are her age and 2 that are a year older, but I don't remember if that is entirely correct or which ones are older. Anyway, they're the basketball stars, and the basketball team has a rule that they're not allowed to date. And so we start off right off the bat going, okay, obviously she's going to fall in love with one of them, and obviously this rule that they can't date is going to get in the way. It does have a bit of a love triangle-esque situation, and it has a love triangle, but then it also is sort of a reverse harem in that there are several boys who want her attention, but there's 2 main boys who are, the main candidates for her affection. But other than that, I mean, Mitsuki herself is a bit more of a shy, quiet protagonist. She's more normal. She's not super bullied or anything like that. She just kind of is a normal girl. She's got a job. She, does her thing. And then she meets these boys and befriends them. And I just really like the dynamic of this series in that, aside from the romance piece and the fact that there's clearly a few boys that really do like her, all in all, they really respect her and enjoy her company. And she, same with them. She meets them and I think that there's a part of her that's oh, these boys are too popular or too pretty or too cool for me kind of thing. But I think that they get over that decently, and it kind of just becomes a really fun series where she's hanging out with them and having a good time. The other saving grace is her older coworker. She works at, I think it's a cafe. And her older coworker, Nana, is really adorable. She's in her early 20s, I believe. And I just really like her as a character. It's one of my favorite things in especially shoujo, but just, manga in general, when our protagonist has a slightly older friend who is kind of a bit of a mentor sort of thing, but also they are still friends. But yeah, I really like that character. Mitsuki has another female friend who is a fujoshi, so she's constantly shipping these boys together and doesn't want them to ever get girlfriends because she wants them to date each other, and that's, you know, an ongoing gag throughout the series. But all in all, I mean, we get some good basketball stuff in here. If you enjoy basketball or you're trying to get into some sports manga, this is a good one to dip your toe into if you are a shoujo reader and you're trying to get into some sports manga, because it does, you know, we see the basketball games. They talk a lot about basketball. These boys are obsessed with basketball. They love it. It's their passion. And it comes first. I mean, you know, the romance is happening and it's kind of building. It's a very slow build, obviously, but the basketball is number one. Their friendship is number one, and I really like that. I think that it's a really healthy friendship between these boys, and you can tell that they care about each other and want each other to succeed. And then there's some teasing elements and whatever that you obviously get with friends that have been close for a long time. It's just really lovely. Honestly, I mean, yes, it's a romance and it's cute and it's shoujo and it's, you know, whatever. But at the core of it, I really loved seeing this friendship between these four boys who've known each other for a long time, but also, you know, the added element of Mitsuki, and how she kind of changes the dynamic between them, but not in a bad way. And it's just fun. It's so fun. And the art is great. I'll just show you some from this volume. Like, the character designs are really, really, like, they're all gorgeous people. Which, I mean, when you're reading a shoujo and there's a bunch of pretty people, that's what we're here for, is to watch pretty people drama. This one is less, I mean, it's got drama, definitely has drama, but it's more kind of a comedy, I would say, because the drama, honestly, is to do with the love triangle that is consistent throughout the whole series. But, I mean, the comic relief is enough to... It's not like, I don't know, it's not like super childhood trauma sort of heavy, you know, laying it on kind of thick. It's more just a fun series. But yeah, Toa is our kind of main male protagonist, and he's kind of quiet and really, like, he loves basketball. He's kind of a bit clueless, but I don't mind that character type. And he's quite cute. Like, they're all so cute, you know, they have their personalities that people kind of put on them because they're popular and, you know, whatever. But they're all really adorable in their own way, and watching the way they interact with, like, their classmates versus Mitsuki versus each other when no one else is around is really endearing, and it's just so fun. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this series. Closer to the end, I was getting a bit, like, impatient because the volumes were coming out so slowly, and I just wanted it to finish, but that was more just to do with how long between the releases you had to wait for them. I'm sure that on a reread, I would whip right through this and enjoy it consistently all the way through. And the extras volume was excellent. Sometimes extras volumes, I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like, you want me to pay more money for... You know, the story's already over, but this one in particular, I liked all of the extra stories that were in it. I thought they were all well done. They were really cute. They gave you a little insight into after the series for various characters and the couples that come out of this series, as well as the fun little in-between comedic parts that I really, really enjoyed. I think that each volume does have... some, like, usually in between chapters, I think, as well. I don't know, I'm just remembering there's, like, 4 coma moments at the end that are just, like, comic relief. Yeah. A lot of the volumes at the end have a couple 4 coma situations, just like, and then some little bonus stories referencing a scene that happened in the manga that wasn't super elaborated on, but then at the end there's like a comedic moment of going a little bit more into the comedy of that moment that they had to kind of breeze through to get to the point of the chapter. Yeah, I just think that this was a really, really lovely story with a bunch of adorable people being adorable, and I don't know what else there is to ask for, honestly. I quite enjoyed it and highly recommend reading Waiting for Spring. These are the general or standard size. They're not oversized from Kodansha because I think the first volume kind of came out just before the point where Kodansha kind of has switched over almost entirely to the larger format. I like this standard format, and I think that it fits. Like, this series didn't need to be oversized, so I'm glad that it was in this standard kind of smaller format. But yeah, I mean, it's a great series. Spines look excellent with all these beautiful colors, and I cannot wait to reread this in the future because I really, really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, if you've read Waiting for Spring, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have read anything similar to it that you would like to recommend, I'd like to hear that as well. Anyway, thank you for watching.